Okay, so I just got to editing this podcast and realized that I am super rusty and my introduction was terrible. So I'm not sure this is going to be any better, but hello, my name is Kate and welcome to my channel. I talk about knitting here, basically. And today I have a lot of stuff to show to you. Some things finished, some things that I'm still working on, and some things that I'm daydreaming about starting. So you can find me on Instagram as Milk Thistle Fiber Arts, on Ravelry as Kate with 2 E's Moloney, and we also have a Ravelry group that you can go and join and become a part of the conversation if you'd like to. I am really sorry I don't have internet at the moment and I have not been on Ravelry for basically anything. All the projects I have, I had all the patterns when I left for my holiday and I had them all printed out, so I haven't really been online a whole bunch. I'm coming to you today from Northern California on the west shore of Lake Tahoe, where I am currently staying, and it is a windy, snowy, rainy, I don't even know if you can call it snow, it's rain. It's quite warm here, unfortunately, so it's coming down as rain, and that's why my lighting might be a little bit off and on depending on how heavy the precipitation outside is. Yeah, so that's basically it. It's the 22nd of March, 2018. And I've already recorded this whole podcast. So you are in for a treat. There is some good stuff ahead. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to spend with me. I really appreciate it. I love getting to be part of this community, and without you guys, I would just be talking to my phone all by myself. So thanks for joining me, and to the knitting. Knitting. I have quite a few things that I've finished since the last time I spoke to you. Not all of them are with me, some of them are in Australia, but I will talk to you about what I have here. I also went to Stitches West last month, which was in Santa Clara, which was really fun. I'd never been to a kind of knitting fiber festival before, and so it was quite overwhelming, but a really fun day. And yeah, then some things that I'm planning on working on soon. All right, let's jump into it. First things first, I'm wearing my brand new Weekender pullover. So this is a pattern by Andrea Mowry, and I have a picture of it here. Oops, sorry. So it's the Weekender. I knit it out of some wool that I purchased at Stitches West specifically to knit this. I had this undyed sport weight baby alpaca. It's a non-superwash baby alpaca. And I wanted to hold it double with some yarn, and the yarn I found was junk yarn, and this is the Dovima colorway, which was, I think it was a new colorway that was released at Stitches West, and it's a smooth sock 4-ply, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 463 yards per 100 grams. So this is what I have left. I bought 3 skeins of this, and 2 of the skeins were very similar in color, and this one was the outlier. It was just a little less saturated, and because I knew I was holding it double with the alpaca, I knew it was going to mute the color, as you can see. And because of that, I chose to use, and I liked the darker color. I didn't want it to be a really pale pink, whereas these two together, it comes out a little paler. So I used the other 2 darker skeins first and knit the entire body and most of both sleeves. So I knit the sleeves concurrently until I ran out of wool, and then I switched over to knitting them individually because it's it's way faster. I'm not very fast at knitting things 2 at a time, magic Luke. So I made it to about here. You can kind of see the shift, but not really. So I didn't stripe in or alternate skeins. I just changed straight away. I know that's not ideal with an indie dyed yarn, but because I was marling it with the white, I really didn't think you'd notice, and you don't. It came out really beautifully, and I'm very, very happy with the results. This yarn is spectacular. If you can see, it's got these beautiful, vibrant teal blue specks and brown and burgundy and pink. I have a pink obsession at the moment. I'm not exactly sure what happened. I'm not a pink person. I bought a pink chair. This is my beautiful pink velvet chair. Got a pink mug, which has some English breakfast tea with a little bit of almond milk in it. I bought a pinkish lamp. I bought more pink wool at Stitches West. Anyway, I'll show you that in a little while. But basically, I'm on a pink kick at the moment. What else can I say about this pattern? It's super easy. It's got some really interesting techniques in it, So it's got some really interesting techniques in it that I hadn't used before. The way you bind off, and it's got these really lovely exposed seams that come down. So basically it's knit inside out in the round from the bottom up, and then you separate for the front and back, knit them separately, join, add sleeves. The only thing I may pull back and change is my sleeves came out super long. I knit them exactly as the pattern said, and when I stand up they actually fall past my fingers, which I don't really mind, but I think for the look of the jumper, because it is so boxy, I would like maybe slimmer sleeves, because there is quite a bit. It's meant to have a fair amount of ease. It's meant to have 10 inches of positive ease, which I think I have a little more than 10 inches around the body, but that's okay. It's very comfortable and very wearable. But I think I may pull back the sleeves. I mean, I don't even have to pull them back the whole way. I think I just would like a slightly sharper decrease here just to pull it up a tiny bit. And then even if it just came, you know, halfway down my hand, there's just a lot of bulk here that I could lose. So I'll wear it. I literally finished it yesterday. So, and I blocked it and dried it directly in front of a heater for most of it, because there's so much humidity in the air. Nothing is drying because of all this rain and snow. I think it's back to being rain at the moment. Yeah, I did a gauge swatch. So I think the pattern calls for 5mm needles. Let me just double check. No, 5.5mm or a US 9 for the main fabric. I used a 4.5 or a US 7 for the main fabric. I have quite a loose tension when I'm knitting, especially in the round. And as it was a superwash wool and alpaca, I didn't want it to, I knew it was going to be drapey and beautiful, but I didn't want it to drop too much, so I tightened up. I did not change needles for the ribbing. I rarely change needles for ribbing because I don't like it when garments like tuck in at the bottom, and especially, I'll see if I can show you. So this this ribbing is meant to sit quite flat, and I didn't want it to tuck in. It's got a high-low hemline, and it's knit, like I said, inside out in reverse stockinette with, I'm like standing, looming over the camera at the moment, with this beautiful center seam. Yeah, but as you can see, the sleeves are, yeah, really baggy. So I'll see what I decide to do about them. I may just keep it as a very comfy, cozy, oversized jumper, but we'll see. Okay, that's kind of all I can say about my weekender. I really like it. And it's really pink. Oh well, I'm so excited that I have so much of this left over because this color is beautiful and I really want to make a pair of socks out of it. Or possibly put it in my, I'm collecting a giant basket of leftovers and I'm going to make a penguono, a Stephen West pattern, which is a kimono cardigan thing. I'm sure you've seen it. So at the moment I'm collecting all different wools to put into that. And I wonder if this will go with my color scheme. To be continued. I'll let you know about that when I cast it on. Okay, so that is my weekender. The next thing I finished is the Haig pullover, and this is a Michelle Wong pattern. It's from the capsule collection that she did for Brooklyn Tweed. I knit it out of Brooklyn Tweed Quarry. So this is a bulky or a chunky weight yarn, 200 yards per 100 grams skein. And I used the geode color. It's really, really beautiful. So it's American Targhee Columbia wool. Really, really pretty. Super chunky. I made some definite modifications to this pattern. So I knit the sleeves first. Please excuse all the dangly threads there. Just where I seamed it up. So I knit the sleeves first, then I knit the body, which is beautiful. It's got these amazing cables that run the entire way down the front and the back. And this gorgeous kind of double garter. I'm not exactly sure what you'd call it. Sorry, the light's making this color go a little funny. That's a more true representation, but just to show you the texture. So yeah, really beautiful. I finished it. I seamed it all up. I looked like the Michelin Man. You know, like, or one of those like really fat puppies that have those rolls. You know, the really cute ones that have all the extra skin. So I pulled the sleeves off. And I was just slowly dismantling it to see what I could do. It is, I think it took 7 or 8 skeins of the quarry. So it was quite an investment. Especially I bought this wool in Australia in the middle of summer. It was like 30 something degrees, or like, I think it was, that's in the 90s if you're in Fahrenheit. And I went and bought bulky weight wool because that's what you do when there's plenty of air conditioning to be had. So I bought this in Australia, so it had to be imported and there were all the extra taxes and all the costs with that. So it was a decent investment of dollars. So I don't want to waste it. So I was slowly pulling this apart, seeing where I could get it to that I would actually want to wear it. And I found that if you take the sleeves off, and then I did an applied I-cord edge around the little caps that are just created, it's better. I've worn it a couple of times. Maybe I'll do a costume change so you can see. Ready? Okay, so it's still super bulky, I feel. I'm not a petite person, and I have boobs, so the way this hangs kind of from my chest makes me look very wide. So I'm not sure how I feel about it, but there's so much work in these beautiful cables that I'm not ready to pull it out yet and part with it. So I'll stand up so you can see. It's super wide. And as you can see from here, like it literally just falls from my chest. So yeah, I feel clunky in it, but it is very pretty and it's way better. Do you want to see it with the sleeves on? You want to see me look like a fat little baby? Oh my gosh, I love fat little babies. Aren't they the cutest? Okay, so these sleeves are meant to connect here. Check out how chunky these arms are. I mean, this is not a good look on me. So, and I even went down a size from what was recommended for the finished dimensions with the recommended amount of ease. So anyway, I've woven in the ends of the actual Brooklyn tweed yarn. I haven't woven in the ends of the fingering weight wool that I used to seam it. So I find with this beautiful loosely worsted spun yarn, it doesn't pull apart super easily, but see, like I'm putting a fair bit of tension on that before it goes. But for seaming, I find that this not only adds bulk to the seams, but it isn't quite as strong. Now, they recommend that you can add twist in the direction that this wool is already plied, and that will add strength to it. I chose to seam with a coordinating 4-ply wool, so which I just had in my stash. It actually has silver stellina in it, but you can't tell. Like here, this is inside out. Well done me. Yeah, so this is the inside of the seam. This is the outside. You can't see this wool at all, but it is stronger, and like this is still a pretty bulky seam for the inside. Can you imagine if I used something this thick to sew it up with? It would be, yeah, it'd add a lot of weight. So I haven't woven in any of these ends. I'm going to pull out the sleeves because there's no way I'm putting the sleeves back on. I even thought about turning them into leg warmers, and I've never worn leg warmers. They're not really a thing that I've ever thought, I know, I need to warm up my calves. So sorry if you can hear jumping. I have a bunny rabbit in his hutch over there, and he's jumping from the 3rd story to the 2nd. What was I saying? Distracted by bunny. Yeah, I'm never going to put these back on. I'm not going to wear them as leg warmers. So left over between my 2 sleeves, this ball, and this skein, I have 316 grams left. So that's about 600 yards, a little over 600 yards of this beautiful yarn that I think I'm going to make myself a really chunky shawl, scarf-ish thing. Probably long and skinny so I can wrap it around a couple of times, maybe with a tassel. So that is a project for another day. But yeah, this is my Haig pullover by Michelle Wong. Notes on the pattern. It is beautifully written. It is so unbelievably clear. I used the chart. I think it might only be charted for the cables. Yeah, it's very easy to read. Didn't lose my place. Yeah, it's really beautiful, and it looks stunning on the model. But when I looked at her dimensions, she's very petite. And like I said, I'm kind of like a regular size human. I don't know. So yeah, between my curves and its bumps, it's not the most flattering thing, but I do love it. I've been wearing it around the house. I kind of feel ridiculous wearing this gorgeous cabled, beautiful woolness around the house, but I may have to take this off so I don't melt. Okay. Third costume change for the day. Why not? So what else do we have to talk about? I'm like surrounded by a sea of wool. Next is tea. I feel like I've been talking for a really long time. This is the only downside to talking to a camera, is I know there are people, pressed up, sorry, put that away. I know there are people on the other side of the screen, but I kind of want to hear about your day and how you're going. What are you knitting on? Are you knitting on any of the same things as me? What are your plans that you're gonna work on next? Or do you have any fun squishy yarns or a new color obsession that you can't quite wrap your head around? I haven't been obsessed with the color pink since I was like 10 or 11. So when I was 11, I'm fairly certain it was 11, I wore nothing but pink and black. And I had black hair. And I wore a lot of fake tan. Oh gosh. Embarrassing confessions over here. Okay, so I was a very unfashionable youngster, but that's okay. Tastes change, and apparently they're cyclical because I'm coming back to pink, and black is always a staple of mine. Basically black and white are my go-tos. As you can see today, I'm wearing black pants, white t-shirt. It's my basic uniform, and that leaves things open to wear wild knitwear colors. Speaking of wild knitting, this is possibly the brightest, most amazing thing ever. So, in my fringe porter bin, so in this bin, I have an almost finished parachute-y dress, which is a pattern by Stephen West, and it is meant to be a top, and I've done a dress version. So I knit the extra large size with the medium neck decreases. So it's slightly narrower, but it is long. And this entire thing is knit out of hedgehog fibers. So this whole project started with this tiny, what is now tiny, ooh, there's like blue fluff. This beautiful skein. This is a potluck skein that my dad chose when he went to Ireland, and he went to hedgehog fibers. Well, my mum and dad went, but this color specifically my dad chose. And I thought it looked like a beautiful peacock kind of color. It's a skinny single, I think is what they call it. Yeah, skinny singles, hedgehog fibers, potluck. So 100% merino wool, 100 grams, 366 meters. Now, tuck this back in here so I don't lose it. So this is what started it all. And I thought this color is so vibrant and so wild that it needs to be something really cool. And it needs to be something by Stephen West. So, I have made a dress. I'll show you the front. There's a lot of ends to weave in. So this is the front, and yeah, you can't even see the whole thing. And there's the bottom. Now I striped the front. So you start with the front piece. I started in this corner, and you increase and then decrease, increase and then decrease again, and you finish at this corner. Then you start the back. And the back, I decided to take all the colors that I'd used in the front, and I did a fade. So I'll tell you the colors. They're not all on the skinny singles base. 2 of them are on the sock base, which is a merino nylon blend. So up the very top, we have Teacup, which fades, which is a sock. Yeah, Yeah, so it's a merino nylon blend. Then we go back to a skinny single in the Shiver color, which is here. It's really beautiful. Then we fade into Boombox. Super fun with these really bright pops. Boombox goes into Fool's Gold, which is an amazing color. Fool's Gold faded into Pollen, which is just a tonal mustard. Pollen faded into what started it all, this amazing Potluck peacock color. And then that faded into the Edge, which is Ink. So they're all skinny singles except for Boombox and Teacup. The only color that's not in the back is this tiny stripe of pink that runs down the front, and that is Jelly, also hedgehog fibers. Sorry, excuse the ends. And I literally had about 4 grams, no less, 2 grams of that left over, which I found in a box that was in a storage unit over here. So yeah, I love it. It's really, really beautiful. It's completely over the top. It comes past my knees. Well, when it's blocked out, it'll definitely come past my knees. It's just at my knees at the moment. And it's so beautiful. Look at this color. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it so much. So I did an I-cord bind off along the bottom in ink. And now I need to pick up or do an applied I-cord around the sleeves and the neckline. Now it says to sew the shoulders together. I don't think I'm going to do that. Well, I am going to sew them, but I think I'm going to extend the I-cord and just tack them together and tie bows on the shoulders. I think that'll look really pretty. I picked up a color at Stitches West to do the I-cord, the applied I-cord, because I wanted to bring back that pop of pink that I only had that tiny bit of jelly down the front. So I picked up this color. Oh gosh, I have no idea what it's called, and I have no idea where I put the ball band. If I find it, I'll put it on the screen. If not, I'm sorry. It is Hedgehog Fibers. It's just one of their sock minis. And it's this amazing. It is actually that bright. Like neon pink with loads of little speckles through it. And so I'm going to use this as the I-cord edging around the sleeves and the neckline, which I think will look really cool. Let me see if this will work. So this will be my lovely necklace. So yeah, that'll be the around the neck and then the bows on the corner as well. Yeah, so I'll show you all the colors. Do I have Teacup? I have Teacup somewhere around here. Oh, because I'm planning on talking about that later. So it's in another bag. Please excuse the crinkling. So, Teacup, Shiver, Boombox, Potluck. That wasn't the order I went in, sorry. Fool's Gold, that was the next one. Pollen, then Potluck, and finally Ink. So yeah, this is my parachute dress. Sorry, it's pretty hard to show on the podcast on a tiny little screen, but when I finish it, I'll have beautiful finished object pictures of it, and you can see the beautiful, oh my goodness, the way this all fades into each other makes me so happy. And I really like the contrast between the gentle fade on the back and the stripes on the front. Now, the only thing I wish I didn't do on this pattern is when you get to the sleeves, it says to cast on think it's 13 stitches for the extra large size. I wish I omitted them because this dress is very wide. Like, it's about 2.5 times as wide as my hips, at the point of my hips. And I feel like I could have done with those, 2 inches less on either side. In saying that, because the sleeves, like this is this armhole essentially, so this is all open. What I think I might do is once I've done the I-cord around all the edge, if it's far too open and I don't like the way it's looking, what I may do is I may pick up stitches in between this gap and knit a garter stitch panel to make the sleeves a little shallower, which I don't think will look bad at all. I mean, this is quite a pieced together looking garment anyway. So this is my parachute dress, and when I get up the patience to do an applied cord I-cord bind off, oh no, an applied I-cord? Yeah, an applied I-cord. When I get up the patience to do that, because I'm not a fan of the applied I-cord. I-cord bind off? Love. I-cord edge? Adore. Applying the I-cord? For some reason? I know it's no different, but it's just tedious. So, I'll finish that at some point. My lovely little necklace. All right. Are you still with me? I know it's a long episode, but this is what happens when I don't podcast for 4 months. 4. That's a long time. All right. Sustenance and decisions. Oh, I've still got 3 more works in progress. 3. Yeah, only 3. It's okay. We can do this. Let's go through these quickly. Do you want to see my Zweig for my mum? So this is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter of Boyland Knits. And if you were following me on Instagram or through my Vlogmas, you'll know that I was knitting 2 Zweig yokes for my mum. I finished the first one, gave it to her, and she knit the rest of the body. Isn't this beautiful? Oh my goodness, I love it so much. So let me just grab a tag. This fits in my little Kaleidoscope City bag, which I adore. So this is Blue Sky Fibers Sport Weight Metallico. And this is 147 yards per 50 grams. It's 50% baby alpaca, 50% silk. The color is natural. There are no dyes used. It's just the way they blend the silk and the alpaca. So these are the 3 colors that we used. This is the main body color. Look at that gorgeous halo. I love it. This is the main color for the lace work in the yoke. And this is the color we used, or I used for the color work in the yoke. Now, the pattern itself only actually calls for 2 colors, but Mum and I decided for both the pullovers that I did that we liked 3 colors. So we did 3 colors for both of them. What can I tell you about this? I love it. This wool is so soft and it has this beautiful halo. The stitches showed up so well on this lace work. Now the color work doesn't have quite as high contrast as it would have if we just did the white for the color work, but I still think it's really beautiful and nice and subtle. And yeah, after this it goes back to the main body color, so there's a little white stripe in there. that's curled up. This pattern is beautiful. This is the second time I've knit the yoke for it, and I'm actually considering knitting a third for myself. I know, I'm nuts, but it's really beautiful. And if I was allowed to keep this one, oh my goodness, you should see out the window right now. The wind is going crazy, and because it's been raining, you can probably see it out here, because it's been raining so much, the snow on all the trees has reached its saturation point, and it is just coming off in these heavy, like waterlogged snowballs. I would not want to be standing under a tree right now. It would hurt. It would be yuck to begin with. It could be like slushy, heavy snow falling on you. But I think it'd hurt too, because we got a lot of snow before we got the rain. Hopefully we get more snow after the rain too. Anyway, completely off topic. Zweig. Yes, Caitlin Hunter. You have my heart. Honestly, her patterns are beautiful. So yeah, I might knit myself one of these. At Stitches West, I purchased Coco Knits leather cord and needle stitch holder kit. Now, this was what I wanted when I found out that Coco Knits were going to be at Stitches West. This was what I wanted, because postage to Australia costs a fortune. It's not like a Coco Knits specific thing, just shipping to Australia from the States. It's a long way, so it costs quite a bit, especially when you have things in boxes or bulkier things. So I picked up 2 of these, one for my mum, one for me. And I have mixed feelings about them. So I love the idea. Love the idea of not having to use waste yarn, being able to knit straight off this cord onto your next, wow, words. Okay, let's try that again. Knit straight off the leather cord when you're picking up your stitches, rather than having it all on waste yarn, picking them up, and then having to knit them. So basically, what this kit is you have super cute little instructions. You get 2 needle tips, which have a hollow end on one end that you can screw the end of a little leather cord onto. Comes with 3 cords, one that's long enough for like the entire circumference of a garment, and 2 that are a little bit shorter, which I've been using for sleeves. Like I say, I love the idea, but the results I've been getting when using it are not great. Now, this could be that the leather just needs to be used a bit more. It looks smooth. It's not. I don't know if you can see. It's very textured, and especially with this wool, which is an alpaca silk, so it has that fluffy halo to it, the stitches do not slide smoothly. They get caught. I find that it's really fuzzing up the wool. Like if you can see, I don't know if you can see, just here, like they don't move easily. So it's really picking up all the fibers and fluffing them out, and I'm worried that it's going to be noticeable, to the point that I used the sleeves, the leather holders for the sleeves, but for the body I wasn't going to pull that leather cord through this many stitches, so I used waste yarn like I normally would. Now I thought maybe it's just this wool, and it's because it has those fibers coming off and that beautiful halo, and that's what's getting caught on. So like I said, I've got 2 of these. This is my mum's. I even like massage some like oil, like leather oil, into them to try and smooth it out, because I thought maybe with wear they would get softer and smoother as leather does. And even massaging the oil into it, they're still a little rough. Now, I've used them since on a superwash merino wool, and I will say that slid way easier over the leather cord. However, I used them again on some Quince & Co. Lark, which is a non-superwash wool, but it is very soft. It's smooth. It doesn't have that halo, and the leather cord's getting caught on that one. Almost to the same extent it got caught on this. And that's not just one box. It's 2 separate boxes that I bought. So I'm not sure. I love the idea. I think it's really, really fantastic. I may go out. It's a very standard leather diameter cord or circumference. Anyway, it's a standard size of leather. So I may go and see if I can find a smoother leather piece at a craft store and cut my own. Because if it was to work the way it's designed to, it's a genius idea. Maybe I just need to use it on superwash wools and less toothy wools for a while until it does soften. But yeah, until then, I'm going to keep it away from my fuzzier wools because I really feel like it's pulling the fibers a lot and damaging the structure of the yarn a little bit. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I want to love the product, and maybe I will, but not right now. I think it needs a little bit of love and time, which is okay. I'm happy to put that in. Sorry, runaway balls. Yeah, so that was something else I picked up at Stitches West. And have any of you used this kit before? Do you know if it does soften up with time, or is it maybe just the batch I got? Because they did come out of a box right next to each other. But yeah, if you could reassure me that they smooth out, that'd be great, because I really want to be able to use them. Okay, look at my little Fueled by Tea pin. This is another one from the Clever Clove. I love it. This is a crochet project. I'm crocheting a triangular shawl. So just granny triangle. It is out of some Drops Merino Extra Fine, 100% wool, superwash merino. 50 grams, 105 meters, or 115 yards. So I purchased this a couple of years ago to make a blanket. Actually, it was meant to be a shawl or scarf, and then it was too wide, and so I made more pieces of my extra wide shawl, and I sewed them together, and then I added a border, and I made a blanket. I don't even know. It's another thing that's in storage. I'd show it to you if I could. It's beautiful. So it's in this mustard, gray, black. That is black. It's throwing blue, and it's fuzzy. Okay. And there's another gray as well, which I don't think I have any of that left. Yeah, so there's the darker gray, the mustard, light gray, and black. So I'm just using the leftovers to make a shawl. I'm making it up. I'm using a size F crochet hook, which is also a 5, or a 3.75 millimeter. This, I'm fairly certain, is a tulip hook. I forgot all my regular crochet hooks in Australia. I don't know how I did it. I brought my knitting needles, thank goodness. I forgot all my crochet hooks, so I had to buy a new one. But it made me really happy. I don't know about you, but I love it when my tools match my project. So, mustard and gold. No, mustard and black. Mustard and black. Yeah, like I say, super simple. I started here and I'm just going out in a triangle. It's going to be very large. I may add short rows. I don't know if that's what you call them in crochet, but I may do that along the sides here in an attempt to make this a little longer, but not any deeper. And then I think I want some tassels. But yeah, basically I'm making a big, like I say, it's not long enough, but crochet shawl. Super easy. It's like a lot of people are doing the granny stripe blanket. Same thing, just in triangle. So I'm doing three, it's upside down. I'm doing 3 double crochets, I think, if you're US. I was taught English, vocabulary, vernacular terms for crochet. So to me, this is a treble, but I'm fairly certain it's a double in US. Yeah, so that's in place. I didn't bring my granny stripe blanket with me, so sometimes I like to just have something super easy to crochet on that is not a really complicated pattern, that doesn't stress me out too much in the evenings when I'm tired. So yeah, that's the story with that. I crocheted for a long time before I knit, like over a decade. So last promise. This is the last thing I'm working on. Goodness gracious. This is probably going to be like the longest episode ever. And these are the longest socks ever. I know they look really skinny, but they're ribbed and they're knee high. So this is a ball of Regia or Regia. Did I do the sensible thing that I sometimes, look at me, prepared even when I don't know I need to be prepared. So it's a 6-ply, color 05858, 75% new wool, 25% polyamide. This is the tag. This is the pattern and the number. And pop that back in there. Safekeeping. Okay, so this sock I cast on 52. I think I did write it down somewhere. 52 stitches. I did a 1x1 rib. Then I switched to a 3x1 rib. When I got to the bottom of, or where my calf started to get smaller, I started to decrease. Now let me see if I can find the first one. Okay, let's look here. So where my finger is, it goes from a 3x1 rib to a 2x1 rib. And what I did was every row I decreased the next rib. So it's kind of a spiral decrease that eventually 8 times takes you, oh no, 13 times, sorry, takes you down to a 2x1 rib. So you have like, I think it's 36 stitches all the way down the foot. I did a heel flap and gusset. Pretty basic. I lost the pattern. I ditched the rib for the bottom of the foot. Like I said earlier, I don't really love having texture under my foot, but I still kept the rib so it would say snug over the top of my foot. So still 2x1 rib, down to the toe, regular toe. I literally just have to kitchener this off. There's 16 stitches total, 8 on each needle. This is my little bunny cookie from Sucra Miniatures. So adorable. So this is so close to being done. And then I can do the other one. I haven't knit any socks. I've been on such a garment kick lately. It's all I've been wanting to knit. This is in my Jezebel Bee bag with gorgeous little Australian bluebird by, I think, Jess's Mess. Sorry, I'll make it appear. Her name, the girl who did the beautiful little pin. She's Australian. And this is Jez Bobby, who is Canadian. Mine's a bit crinkled because something spilt on it, so I had to wash it, and I don't have an iron at the moment, so nice crinkled denim. Okay. Are you sick of me? Are you still with me? Like, congratulations if you are. You're amazing, and thank you. I think that's everything, like, surely. Thank you so much for sticking with me. And if it's just Mum left, hi Mum. You're awesome. Can't wait to see you. Hopefully she's coming to visit soon. So, thanks for sticking with me. Hopefully I'll be able to see you soon, and it will be a shorter episode because I feel like that was just jam-packed with 4 months of stuff. That's not even all the stuff, that's just all the stuff I have with me. I have stuff that I'm not even allowed to show you at the moment because it's like secret. As soon as it's not secret, I'll show you because it's pretty cool. But, okay. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like or subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.